Hello. The next series of videos you will watch, I will be posting on Thursdays. I'm going to be calling it Throwback Thursday. And these are videos that I had originally posted for instructional purposes on my old YouTube channel. They did decently well, especially for somebody who wasn't maintaining a YouTube channel at the time. I hope you enjoy.
Hello class. In this video, we're going to learn how to make pie charts, Pareto charts, and time series charts. Now in this specific video, we're going to actually talk about how we can create these using Google spreadsheets in case you're ever in a profession that uses this kind of technology or uses something with spreadsheet capabilities. You don't have to create it by hand. I always offered a bit of wisdom that we will be most likely using technology in today's day and age rather than creating these graphs by hand. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I've already got a new tab open. I'm going to go ahead and type in Google Sheets. And as a matter of fact, I think I'm just going to go to this menu right here. Click Google Sheet. And it's going to take me here, or you can type in Google Sheets, and I'm going to open up a blank one. Now my title up here, it says Untitled Currently. I can just go ahead and type in that. So I'm going to say pie, two commas, Pareto. I think I'm pronouncing that right. If not, I've been pronouncing it incorrectly for 7 years, so we'll see. Time series charts. Okay, we can name it whatever we want. Now let's look at the problem. So the number of motor vehicle occupants killed in the crashes in 1991 are shown in the table. Use the pie chart to organize the data. Okay, so we have the vehicle type and we have how many were killed in that kind of accident. So I'm going to go ahead and type these titles in. So cars. We had trucks. We had motorcycles. And we had other. All right, and now we type in the numbers. Now you type in the numbers. I think you can get away with typing it with a comma, but I don't usually do that. So cars was 22,385. We got 8457. We got 2806. And we have 497. Now, I'm going to go ahead and rename my chart because I'm not going to create a new spreadsheet every time I want a new chart. I'm just going to create it all in the same, I call it pie. I'm just going to create it all in the same spreadsheet and create different individual sheets for it, okay? I'll show you what I mean when we get further into it. So now to create a pie chart, you have an insert and you can see, come down here to where it says chart. Also, we have this little button over here that says insert chart. I can press either one of those, and mine automatically set up as a pie chart. That's kind of handy. Now, if it doesn't automatically set as a pie chart, you have chart type, and you can see from the many different pie charts. And I'm actually going to change mine to a 3-dimensional pie chart. I like this a lot better. But you have different kind of pie charts you can choose. You can choose the regular circular pie chart, the 3-dimensional cylindrical pie chart, and you'll have a donut chart. And then if we wanted to edit it at all, we can always change our colors. Where do we change our colors? Here we go, pie slice, make it red. We can change them based on what we want it to be. I'll go turquoise. Let's go with bright purple, and I will go with bright green. And I can edit this how I want. We do actually want a header. Notice I double clicked on it. So I go to chart and axis title. Now there are no axes for a pie chart. So let's just go to pie chart, motor vehicle deaths. Motor vehicle deaths. For some reason, this didn't put a space in. All right, and so that's how you create a pie chart. It's pretty straightforward. Now, the beautiful thing about this, let's say I typed something in wrong. I'm going to show you this really quickly. I've done all this work. I've got my pie chart set up. I think I'm done, and then I notice a number is wrong. I notice that this is actually supposed to be, let's just say hypothetically, 2714. If I just retype in the number, you can see it's a small adjustment, but it made an adjustment to the chart. That was 2806. I can make the adjustments as need be depending on what the mistakes were. I don't have to start over from scratch. This is kind of the nice thing about using electronics, is it has this memory recall and is able to make adjustments on the fly. Okay, now, before when I said I'm not going to create multiple spreadsheets, I'm going to put it all in this. I'm going to create a new sheet, though, okay? I'll call this one Pareto. So rename Pareto. So let's go back to our. So every year, the Better Business Bureau receives complaints from customers. In a recent year, the BBB received the following complaints. Create a Pareto chart for the following data. Now, a Pareto chart is a bar graph, so it's slightly different than a histogram in that the bars don't need to be touching. But also specifically, it is bar graph that uses titles on the x-axis instead of numerical values. And last but not least, it also must be organized from greatest to least. So this you can actually put in your notes. Organized greatest to least. Now this you will need to do yourself. Okay, so we look at this. We're going to set this up the same way we did the pie chart, but we're going to make sure we organize it. So what's my greatest complaint? My greatest complaint is here with auto dealers. So I'll go ahead and type that in. Auto dealers. Be grammatically correct. Auto dealers. I can't even spell auto right. There we go. All right, so that was my number one complaint at 14,668. All right. My number two complaint, well, I can see auto repair shops. So people are really complaining when it's about their car. So auto repair shops, I'll just say auto repair. Something like 9,728. Ooh, I did a really good job remembering that. I'm proud of myself. 9,728. Number three, it looks like the 7,792 about home furnishing stores. So home furnishing. If you ever get a word that overlaps, that's okay. 7,700, oh, I can't remember. 92. 92. And then we just go through the last couple ones. Looks like computer sales and service stores. I'll say computer stores for short. Computer stores for short. That was 5,000 something. 5,733. And then finally, dry cleaners. $4,649. All right. Now, it's no different. We can go to insert in our chart and see automatically, again, it set me up with a pie chart. I'm going to make sure I go to a bar graph, or as it will refer to it, a column chart. And you can see it automatically organizes it for me. But now it's important, it does that because I organized it, typing it in. Now, a couple things we're going to want to do to customize it. Let's go to our title, chart title, Better Business Bureau Complaints. I think that's a good title. Horizontal axis. These were the types of stores we had. So the horizontal axis was the types of stores we had. So types of stores. Okay, you can see it, put it there. And then vertical axis, number of complaints. points. And that's on the vertical axis. Like histograms and like our dot plots, we want to label our axes because we want to make sure we're telling people the information that is contained within the graph. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of shapes. Okay, so make sure you're keeping everything titled. Once again, if we go to series, you can change the color as you'd like. I'm going to go bright red. Okay. Finally, let's look at a time series chart. Notice on this one it says use pie chart to organize the data. Use that, do that on your own time. You can go ahead and get practice with pie charts and see how they stack up. But let's move on to a time series chart. We're going to use the data table below to construct a time series chart. Identify if the data is qualitative or quantitative. Well, anytime we're dealing with numbers or measurements, it's quantitative. What can you conclude? A time series chart is a point line graph that tells a story and a pattern over time. So here we go. Now this specifically is a point line graph. So let's go ahead and add a new sheet. I will rename it and call it time series. And what I basically want to do is copy this entire table into this. So I'm going to go year. This is the average utility bill. Okay. And it looks like we're starting with 1991 and we can go all the way through. So 1991 and all the way through to 2001. 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 9, 2000, 2001. Yeah. And then we put all the values here. So 72.74. I'm actually going to put these side by side. It'll let me, there we go. So I can copy directly. So 72.74. Got 68.68. Got 61.48. 56.21. 51. 47.70. 42.78. 39.43. 41.24. 45.27. 47.37. All right. Now, once again, the good news here is it's just as quick and easy as setting up a chart. Now, here we go. It already titled it for us. That's kind of nice. Notice the graph is a line chart. There is no point and line chart, but we can bring the points if we want to. If we go to series, see how the point size says none? I'm going to go ahead and make it 14 points. And we can see it adds the points in there. Now notice this starts at 92 and goes by every 2 years. If I wanted to go by the axis I set up with this here, all I got to do is go back to setup and click aggregate. And you can see it gives me all the years that I have. And we can do other things. We can do dotted lines. We can do thicker line thickness. We can do different shapes. This is my personal favorite. I like to do stars. And I can do different color. I'll do maroon for GP. And we can do all sorts of stuff. Now, if it didn't add these titles in for us, we would want to go to our chart and title axis and slowly add them in one by one. But it does it for us. So that is how you create pie, Pareto, and time series charts on Google Classroom.